host, and we're broadcasting live from New Zealand at the New Zealand Chiropractic College, Lyceum. And I got to tell you, we've got a smash-bang lineup of interviewees today. My good friend here, Miranda, is filling in with us for right now. We're doing a little camera testing, right? And actually, we're going to be interviewing you shortly as well, right?
Yeah.
And then we have a bunch of people coming up that are fantastic in the New Zealand Chiropractic College entourage, so to speak.
And country.
In the country as well. Miranda, that's you.
That's me.
All right. How do you pronounce your last name?
Moorghen.
Moorghen. Okay, great.
It looks exotic.
It does.
It's not.
That's awesome. That's very good. Is it Tim Lemming or Leeming?
It's Leeming.
It looks that looks exotic as well. Is this what they do down here?
Yep.
Okay. Patrick Sim. Okay, well that's good. And David Fletcher is coming on in a little bit. So let's see if we have if Frankie Hahn is reading us. You're coming through perfect. Isn't that great? The first time. And by the way, Miranda, we have two eminent chiropractors in the United States that are watching this. Number one is Frankie Hahn, who's of course the inventor of IFCO television. He's the director, and Dr. Scott Garber, who Dr. Scott Garber is the founder and president of the Berkshire Philosophy Fest.
Oh, wow.
It's a phenomenal event in the northeastern
Amazing.
United States, just outside of Boston, Massachusetts. So he's watching.
Hello.
They're live. They're in California right now, which I believe it's right now 1:30 a.m. in New York.
Yep.
Okay. So we're 3 hours before that. So it's 10:30 a.m. in California.
Okay.
Okay. In San Francisco, where
Yep.
they're at. And then in London town, it's 6:30 a.m. So London's going to get up with us. They're going to wake up with us. What I'm going to do is start broadcasting some of this, posting this around so that people know that we're on the camera. You're like a natural at this, by the way. I'm looking at this, and yeah, this is great. I just take you around the world to do this. Forget about
Please,
Judd.
Feel free. Feel free.
I'm sick of Judd. This is like.
Judd's good.
I'm
Judd's good. We like Judd.
just joking. But I mean, we could use a female co-host here. I mean, this is too much
Maybe
testosterone running around here.
Maybe we tell the president that
Here he is.
I'm no longer going to be a chiropractor.
That's right, Phil. I'm taking her. We are going to go around the world broadcasting IFCO television. I mean, look at this, Phil. Come here over here. Dr. Phil McMaster, of course, president of New Zealand Chiropractic College. I mean, who looks better, me or her?
Well,
It would have been me.
I'll still go with her.
No, Liam, I'm going with Miranda.
Okay. So look,
For
I mean,
easy.
They
look
have
at
to
this.
say that.
I think we need a little makeup on. I mean, I'm looking
Yeah,
just
I'm
look at
very
this.
pasty.
Yeah, I'm like
Even
Casper the
pasty
Friendly
than
Ghost
I am.
over here.
I'm actually part Maori too, and it doesn't work.
I'm
That's
English.
right, you are.
I
Yeah.
am.
I'm English, and I look
English.
English.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Frankie Hahn's got it covered on the social platforms. Now, Dr. Phil, as you know, the world famous Dr. Frankie Hahn, the inventor of
The only
IFCO
one and
television,
only, yeah.
he's watching right now from California.
Frank,
It's
how are you,
10:30
mate?
p.m.
Oh, no.
It's 1:30 a.m. in New York, and it's 6:30 a.m. in London. They're waking up with us this morning.
Great.
And also Dr. Scott Garber, the founder
Yes,
of the
Scott.
Berkshire Philosophy event. He's watching. And we're going to have some people coming on. This is just a test we're doing right now.
Cool.
But we are going to be, hello, Phil, all the way from the United States. So
Frank,
fantastic.
it's a pleasure to be with you at this hour.
Welcome
And-
to New Zealand.
There
Yes.
you go. And what a day we had today, huh? Was that a barbecue?
it was
Oh
great.
my gosh,
Yeah.
we got a lot of meat fans out there.
Yeah, we have.
that was fantastic. Gosh,
It's a good way to kick off Lyceum, isn't it?
it was. And we had nice sunny weather today. It was fantastic.
Jan was a little panicky this morning.
Jan was doing sundances all weekend.
Jan, being the part Indian that she is, she was getting the gear out for the old unrain dance. And it worked.
It worked well.
It worked very well.
So, Dr. Phil, we are going to be doing great. You guys look great. Okay, Frankie Hahn
good.
says. Okay, good.
Nice
so,
little test there, Frank.
we're going to shut it down right now, and then we're ready to broadcast at 5:30 p.m. We're going to go on. I'm going to
Yep.
start promoting it around the
Cool.
the web. Okay.
Yep. And I've just told Tim to be here at 22. So you don't have to worry about that.
All right. See, this is how things get done. I mean, you know, he
Team effort.
He just yells at people. Kidding.
That's scared of me.
Hey, Frankie Hunt says you're hired, Miranda.
Thank you.
You'll still have to just be president.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll wait my turn.
I've waited
All
too
right, Frank,
long.
good to catch up. We'll see you soon, mate.
Okay, folks, welcome to New Zealand. We are in Auckland,
Yeah.
and my name is Dr. Liam Schubel. I am the host of today's version of IFCO television, this episode. We are broadcasting live from the New Zealand Chiropractic College at Lyceum, at the, what's the name of this convention center?
This is the Ellerslie Convention Centre.
Ellerslie Convention Center, and I, of course, am with my good friend here, student at New Zealand Chiropractic College, Miranda, who is probably one of the top television personalities right now in this part of the world. We've just found that out recently, but it's such a pleasure to have you on the program today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's see. This is our microphone, so we'll put this closer to us.
We'll
Okay.
share it. Look at
All right.
that. Yep.
Hey, that looks pretty good there. Okay, great. So, Miranda, tell us a little bit about. First of all, how is it that you even got into chiropractic in the first place? What were you doing, and what made you decide, hey, I think this might be something for me?
I was competitively show jumping in South Australia. I'm originally from England.
Oh, wow.
Moved to South Australia, and my plan was to show jump, and that's what I was going to do. And that's what I was going to do. My horse suddenly went flat. He wasn't wrong enough that I needed a vet. He wasn't right enough. He wasn't right. And someone said to me, well, why don't you get the chiropractor out? And I'm like, sure, give it a go.
Interesting, to take care of the horse.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Okay.
So I wasn't even there. This is how bad I was. I wasn't even there the first time he got checked and adjusted. But I got given a report which I was really impressed with. He had a day off and I rode, and suddenly I was back on my Ferrari, and we were back ready to go, ready to compete.
Right.
So the chiropractor came out regularly to keep Rolly in check, to keep my horse in check. And then one day he said to me, "What are you doing with your life?" And I was like, "Show jumping, that's what I'm doing with my life."
Right.
And he said, "You should be a chiropractor." And I said, "Oh, I'm not smart enough to do that." And up until that point in England, the only thing I'd been interested in was equine physiotherapy. So for some reason, I had a serious conversation with him about that, and he said, "Bud, go and watch a physio in practice, and then come and watch me and my wife in practice, and then make a decision." And I'm like, I'm not making any decisions right now.
Right.
But nevertheless, I went in, and the moment I stepped into their clinic, I can't, it was like everything just, lights went on. I hadn't even been checked or adjusted yet myself, but I just knew that was it.
You know, this is fascinating because I'm seeing this, by the way, more and more as I travel around the world. People getting to know chiropractic through their animals.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
we were working with one day. We had the opportunity, and it really is a privilege to watch animal chiropractors do their work. Dr. Jake Kamarick is one of the premier animal chiropractors in the world. We were brought out to work on these horses that each one of those horses are worth well over more than my house, right? And again, the owners pay him to come out because they know that the performance is going to be that much greater. The healing potential is going to be that much greater.
Yep.
And what happens is they start seeing the results with the horses, and then the logical thing that comes around is, hey, wait a minute, I have a spine too.
Exactly.
Could this help me? You know, Jay just put out a great movie called Life Adjusted. It's going to be available on Netflix hopefully soon. We had the opportunity to see a screening of it, private screening in Colorado at Danny Knowles' Mile High event.
Okay.
Absolutely phenomenal. So this is how you got into chiropractic, through animals, right?
It took me 2 years to make a move. I moved to another state in Australia and started studying there. I did 3 years in a university in Australia.
Okay.
And then I met some students from New Zealand College of Chiropractic, and they said, "Oh, why don't you come over to Lyceum?" I'm okay, sure. So I came over, and they said, before Lyceum's finished, you'll be signing up to come over. I'm like, no. it's not going to happen. And sure enough, I was in tears in our recruitment agency's office because I'm like, this is just so wonderful and I need to be there. And then that was September, and then within the November I was here.
And I got to tell you, there is something very special about the energy at this college. My colleague, Dr. Judd O'Grady, is here visiting this weekend, and he didn't really know anything. I'm into politics. I'm in, the education. I sit on the board of Sherman College of Chiropractic, and he just took, we went to that barbecue today at New Zealand Chiropractic College, and he just turns to me and he says, "Hey, Liam, there's something really good happening here." This is what he says. He goes, "This is really fantastic."
You're not the first person to say that. People who come over all the time, they say that there is something very much alive and happening and buzzing about the college.
Well, there's a transformation, if I may. I was here the last time back at 2011 Lyceum. I had the opportunity. Reggie Gold was here, and I was speaking on the stage. And this was kind of like I was just getting into speaking in chiropractic, so I was all nervous and everything. And at that time, New Zealand Chiropractic College was still more known as being the isolated New Zealand. It was producing chiropractors for New Zealand and starting to produce for Australia.
Yeah.
But my experience here today has been I've met students that are from all over the world.
Yeah.
This is becoming an epicenter of chiropractic. The student body is so diverse. You want to talk a little bit about that?
We are so lucky. We're so lucky. We are very diverse. We have people from everywhere. The college just seems to draw people. There is something very special about our college, and it has to be felt to be believed and to be seen, because we can sit here talking about it, but it is palpable, I think. And the president, Dr. Phil McMaster, and his team have done a fantastic job really advertising the college around the world, and that's just paying off dividends now, and people love New Zealand, and people fall in love with New Zealand, and the college as well, and the people here. So
you're right. Dr. Phil McMaster has done a phenomenal job, and I have to tell you that again, in just a course of 5-6 years, it went from, the word on the street around the world is, oh, there's a chiropractic college in New Zealand, right? That's how it used to be. Now it's, I heard that chiropractic college in New Zealand is phenomenal. I heard there's some great things happening there. You know what? I'm considering studying over there. It used to be, oh, I've never studied over there. That's, 7,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Now it's, I heard it's probably, in Spanish we'd say vale la pena. It's probably worth the effort to go to New Zealand Chiropractic College.
it was a very quick decision, but it was the only decision for me to make. And having had that experience 3 years at a university and then 3 years here, it's just, I'm a gondroid. For any Gonstead practitioner, it's like getting that G note set.
I know that feeling.
Magnified 1,000 times, all about chiropractic, and it's amazing.
Now,
I'm so lucky.
You're also getting a lot of transfers from some of the schools in Australia, right? And I've had a lot of private messages. I don't know if you know this, Miranda, but I'm sometimes controversial in things that I say. Yeah, I don't know why.
Me too.
I happen to rub people the wrong way sometimes. Just talking about chiropractic, which I find is unusual because I'm a chiropractor. I don't know what else to talk about. But apparently that's controversial, right? Speaking about vertebral subluxation, innate intelligence, all those kind of things are controversial. I don't know. That's what we do. So, in Australia and some of the social media web pages, there's some battles going on sometimes. And sometimes, I'll get in there and there'll be students at other chiropractic colleges in Australia, and they won't respond in public because they're afraid, right?
Yep.
But I will get a ton of private messages going, you know what, Dr. Schubel, we're not exposed to this thing you're calling chiropractic in our chiropractic college, right? And so can you share with us a little bit more? The Strauss, the Blue Books, the Irene Gold's book, you're talking about the B.J. Palmer's Green Books. They have an idea that somehow that's ancient history, right? The philosophy is something that they almost have this belief that the philosophy is some religious construct or some evangelical, topic. Talk a little bit about that, because by the way, here's the funny part. The ironic part is this is one of the foremost centers of research in chiropractic in the world. And we're not talking about just back pain and neck pain. We're talking about optimal life experience, which is in the vision and the mission of the college.
Exactly.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
This whole topic is very, very close to me at the moment. So I came from a university where subluxation was not allowed to be said. Not just not taught, it just was not allowed to be said. There was no innate intelligence.
Innate had left the building, huh?
Innate had literally quite educated brain had taken.
So they were dead and they didn't know it. Is that what happened?
It's very sad. What I will say is I don't regret being there because
totally get you.
I have this beautiful, colourful patchwork background to go off now. But the way I see it is that we chiropractors, we've given an opportunity now.
Yeah.
Australia, and it's not just Australia. There's lots of places in the world that need chiropractors to educate and to talk about innate and to talk about subluxation. And Heidi Horvick, our resident researcher, is, as you said, doing phenomenal work for us, for chiropractic. And it was interesting, I was just thinking about this recently, the whole evidence-based versus straight chiropractic. I can't stand that because I'm an evidence-based chiropractor.
Of course.
But I'm a straight chiropractor.
Evidence informed, right?
Exactly, yeah. And the evidence is coming straight out of our college, which we're really, really lucky for. So we have to be really careful about, I think, our language Obviously, our profession is defined. A profession is defined by our language, so we just need to educate people. And Australia is about to have something very, very big happen, and it's really, really going to push chiropractic in the right direction, so long as it's got enough energy behind it. So hopefully that's going to happen. And the pendulum, I feel, has swung one way for a very long time. And like I said, with the new things that are about to happen in South Australia, and with what we're doing here, it will come back. But we just need to stay positive, stay strong, and just keep talking about and doing what we love doing. And that's
well, yeah, some of the conversation, what I love about going to these seminars, and especially at this part of the world, I'm interacting with some of the best, the premier professionals in the world, in this area of the world, right?
Yeah.
Which is not necessarily, we're a little bit of a distance away, right? But the thought processes are the same. The science is the same. This is the ironic thing, is like, the science that Heidi Havoc is using is completely valid in the court system in the United States.
Yep.
I know it's valid here in New Zealand,
Yep.
but for some reason when it crosses over certain borders, it's no longer valid. It's like, so that would kind of tell you that maybe there's a political component to the perception of certain scientific constructs.
There absolutely is, and I guess that's one of the things that comes with the territory maybe. So I guess that's where we play in our sandpit, and we keep doing what we love doing and what we enjoy doing, and we talk about what we talk about, and we do what we do, and we vibrate the way we vibrate, and that spreads, and our people get that, and our patients get that, and then they play in their sandpits, and they do what they do, and it's fine, you know?
Well, and and the puck, so to speak, if we could talk on a hockey reference, is moving. Wayne Gretzky, the famous hockey player, used to say, you got to skate to where the puck is going.
Yeah.
And if you look at healthcare in the world today, what we know as healthcare in the past 20, 30 years is failing worldwide. I mean, it's bankrupting people, and it's causing more sickness and more disease rather than more results. And so if you look at the world, and I just had a great conversation this afternoon with a medical doctor from Norway that's going to be speaking here this weekend. And she was saying, you know what? My message was not being heard within my medical colleagues, and when I found chiropractic, she says, I said, wow, that's where I'm looking to skate. And she has about 1,000 books out that are being published, being thrown out in the United States, and people are clamoring over themselves to interview her because people want something better for their health and their life.
It's funny, I was having a conversation just last night with a scientist friend of mine, and we both said exactly the same thing. We need to get back to basics, and I guess that's what Lyceum here this weekend is about the fundamentals. And it's so, chiropractic is so beautiful and it's so simple. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be anything else. It just is. And once we start educating people again, to understand that the philosophy is not a bad thing at all. I carry a green book around with me all the time. Once that starts, and once we start educating properly the new generation of people, that pendulum is going to swing back, and it's going to be beautiful. But I guess we stay humble, and we just keep doing what we're doing, and we enjoy doing what we're doing, and we keep changing people's lives, and we recognize that that's innate, and that's right.
And we certainly recognize that the principle is the principle. The principle doesn't change, right? And so, they had the Palmer's law of life. I mean, the idea that the human body is constantly striving,
self-heal, self-regulate, self-coordinate.
That's right. And you might use different terminology to explain that, but the fact of the matter is that it's a scientific fact of what happens. Exactly. And maybe our understanding of vertebral subluxation has changed with the advancement of technology. Yep. But there's still the principle that there's some level of obstruction in the nerve system, that when we do some level of interaction with that, there's a change physiologically to that person. We know that.
Absolutely. Like it says, watch this space, because Heidi's coming out with some exactly that in a scientific, there's your evidence-based, and there's your
absolutely.
philosophy, science, and art.
I got to tell you, we're scheduling 15-minute interviews, and 15 minutes always just goes like that. We're at the end of our interview session, and Miranda, I got to tell you, I'm excited because every time I travel, I was just in Colorado, and there was a doctor of chiropractic there, Cornell Zeus, that I had never heard his name before, and he blew me away. I was like, wow, where has this guy been, right? These young whippersnappers, what are they doing? Well, I got to tell you, you've blown me away just in the short time I've been here in New Zealand. You're a superstar. It's an honor to meet you. And I got to tell you, you've done a phenomenal job here today. Great interview.
It's because I stand on the shoulders of giants.
Well, and I got to tell you, you are certainly an accolade to New Zealand Chiropractic College. What a great story. And I know a lot of people are going to be watching that story, how you told with the animal chiropractic in it, and they're going to say, yeah, that's me. So thank you for sharing that. We're skating to where the puck is going. We appreciate you. And we're going to could you get us set up with our next guest?
I would love to.
All right.
I would love to.
Thank you, Miranda. Appreciate you being on the show. I got to tell you, folks, this is fantastic. We are broadcasting live from Auckland, New Zealand, at the New Zealand Chiropractic College Lyceum event. This is a smash hit weekend.